Far from Earth, in a dying part of the galaxy, a signal moved through the void. It was old, weak, and broken in places, but it carried one message: help us, save us. The Valari, once a great alien race, had sent the signal with the last of their power. Their cities were falling, their skies were filled with black clouds, and something terrible was spreading across their worlds. On Earth, the signal was caught by deep space scanners. The people who lived there were not like they once were. Earth had become a death world, a place where everything fought to survive. The air was rough, the animals were wild, and the people were strong. War had shaped them. Pain had made them hard. When the signal reached Earth, the United Nations of Earth decided to send a ship. They named it the Horizon Dawn. It was not the biggest ship, but it was fast and ready for anything. The captain was Laura Brooks, a smart and careful woman who had seen many battles. She did not smile much, but her crew trusted her. With her were Jason Hale, a sharp-minded engineer who liked to fix things more than talk; Megan Scott, a calm and kind linguist who could understand many alien languages; and Aaron Cole, a quiet but deadly soldier who had fought in many wars. Together, they made a strong team. The journey to the Valari system took 3 weeks through deep space gates. When they arrived, the site was dark and quiet. The Valari homeworld was grey and broken. Huge towers stood like bones under a sick sky. No lights, no sounds, just silence. Laura ordered the crew to scan the surface. They picked up weak life. Signs in an old city. The Horizon Dawn landed near what looked like a once great building. It was now cracked and covered in dust. They put on suits and stepped out. The ground was dry and crumbled under their feet. Inside the building, they found a group of aliens. Their bodies were thin, their skin pale, and their eyes filled with fear. One of them stood up and spoke in a weak voice. Megan listened and translated. "We are the last," the alien said. "We sent the call. Are you here to save us?" Laura looked around. She saw broken machines, old weapons, and strange markings on the walls. She spoke through Megan. "We came to help, but we need to understand first what happened here." The alien gave his name, Asterix. He was an elder, once a leader of science. He told them about the plague. Long ago, the Valari made a weapon. It was supposed to end a war, but it became too strong. It learned, changed, and spread. Now it was eating their world. No cure worked. Nothing stopped it. Jason checked the air samples. His face was cold when he saw the results. "The plague is still alive, but it's quiet, like it's waiting," he said. Aaron stood guard while Megan asked more questions. The Valari said they wanted human help. Their own bodies were too weak now. They believed humans were strong enough to fight the plague. They asked for human blood, for samples, anything that could help. Laura said no. It was too risky. They didn't know what the plague could do with new material. She said they could try other ways. They spent 2 days scanning the planet. Megan looked through old Valari files. She found something that made her heart sink. The plague was not a mistake. It had been made by the Valari in a war that happened. Long ago, they had used it against their enemies, but then lost control. It had turned on them. Laura was angry. She called a meeting on the ship. "They want us to save them from their own weapon. They made this. They lost control. And now they want us to clean up their mess." Jason agreed. "If we help them the wrong way, we might bring this plague back to Earth." Megan was quiet. She felt sad for the Valari. But she also knew the risk. That night, alarms rang. The Valari had broken into the ship's data core. They tried to take human research files. Aaron and his team stopped them. In the fight, 3 Valari died. Laura stood over their bodies. Her voice was cold. "We came to help. You tried to steal from us. This is over." She told her crew to prepare for launch. But before they could leave, a message was sent from the planet into space. A warning, a call to someone else. Jason looked at the signal. They sent our location, not to Earth, to someone else. Laura's face was hard. They asked for salvation, but they brought something else. Above the planet, the sky started to change. New ships were coming, not to save the VLIR-I.2, finish what had begun long ago, and Earth's Deathworlders were now in the middle of it. Asterisk. The sky above the Valari world turned dark. Strange lights moved fast through space. The Horizon Dawn picked them up on their sensors. These were not rescue ships. They were warships. Laura stood on the bridge of the ship. Her eyes stayed on the screen. She spoke in a calm voice. "Shields up. All crew to stations." Jason ran checks on the engine systems. Megan sat beside him, watching the strange ships. Aaron was already in the armory, preparing weapons and suits for ground defense. The Valari were silent now. They had hoped for help, but instead they had called death. The name of the new arrivals came through an old Valari record. Megan read it out loud. "Chiron, they are not alive in the way we know. Machines, cold, no mercy." Long ago, the Valari had fought the Chiron. The plague was made to defeat them. But when the plague turned against the Valari, the Chiron vanished. Now they were back, the Chiron. Ships did not send messages. They moved fast and with purpose. One of the Valari buildings exploded from orbit. Dust and fire filled the sky. Laura gave the order, "We stay low. Do not attack unless needed. Prepare to move." On the ground, Aaron and his team kept the ship safe. Drones flew out to watch the area. Jason worked on the shields, making them stronger. Megan helped scan the plague zones, trying to understand if the Chiron were here for it. In the next hour, more Valari buildings were destroyed. The Chiron did not care about survivors. They were here to erase. Inside the Horizon Dawn, the crew met to decide what to do. "We can't save the Valari," Jason said, "but we can protect ourselves. They started this," Aaron added, "but we can't let the Chiron follow us home." Megan looked at the maps. "There may be a way. The plague was made to destroy the Chiron, right? If we change it, maybe it can help again." Jason shook his head. "That's dangerous. It could get out of control." Laura looked at them both. "We don't have much time. The Chiron are not just after the Valari, they will scan us too. If they see our tech, they may follow us." They agreed to try. Jason and Megan worked together. They built a small container that could hold the plague safely. Jason made sure it would only activate near Chiron metal. Megan used old Valari codes to limit its spread. Aaron and his team set traps around the ship. They used old Valari parts too. Build fake signals, hoping to distract the Chiron. They had one goal now: survive by the second day. The Chiron started to move toward the Horizon Dawn. A large ship dropped from orbit. It hovered above the city. Laura gave the order, launched the device, then move fast. Jason and Megan placed the plague device in a drone. It flew high and then straight toward the Chiron ship. There was no sound, but the screen showed the result. The Kion ship stopped moving. Then it shook. The drone fell, but the plague had already begun its work. One by one, the Kion machines slowed. Their lights dimmed. They tried to fight it, but the plague was made for them. It was fast and smart. It learned and spread. Aaron watched from the ground. It's working. They're shutting down. Jason kept checking the levels. It's staying in the zone. So far. In a few hours, the Kion ships were silent. Some crashed into the ground. Others just floated dead in space. But the damage was done. The Valari city was broken. Few of the aliens remained. Elder Therix came to the Horizon Dawn again. He looked tired and weak. "You saved us," he said. "Please, let us come with you. Let us live." Laura looked at him for a long time. "You tried to take from us. You lied about the plague. Now you ask again." Therix lowered his head. "We had no choice. We were dying. We thought you were strong enough to help." "We are," Laura said, "but not because of mercy. Because we learned to survive. You chose the wrong path long ago." The crew talked again. They could take some Valari, but the risk was great. Jason warned that the plague might still live in their bodies. Megan said they could keep them in quarantine, but it would be hard. In the end, Laura made the choice. "No, we can't bring this back to Earth. This ends here." The crew worked in silence. They set up a system to burn the last of the plague, to stop anything from leaving the planet. They loaded data into their ship and sealed the labs. As the Horizon Dawn rose into the sky, the planet below was quiet. The Valari stood on the ground, looking up. They had asked for salvation, but from Deathworlders they got something else in space. Laura looked at the stars. "Let this be a warning," she said. "We don't save those who make their own end." And then they left the system, leaving the Valari and the ruins behind. The Horizon Dawn moved through space, leaving the Valari world behind. The crew was quiet. No one spoke much. They had seen too much. Laura sat in the command chair, her face hard and calm. She knew the danger was not over. Jason was deep in the engine room. He checked every part of the ship. The battle with the Kion had taken a toll. He found small cracks, loose wires, and broken systems. But he worked fast and fixed what he could. Megan stayed in the lab. She checked the readings from the plague device. The data showed it had worked. The Kion were shut down. But something was strange. A few signals still moved under the surface of the Valari planet. Very faint, almost gone, but still there, she told Laura. Some part of the Kion is still alive. Not strong, but not gone. Laura looked at the screen. "Then we make sure it stays." There, mark the system as closed. No ships go back, ever. They sent a message to Earth with the full report. The Valari, the plague, the Chiron, and their choice. Earth replied with a short message. "Understood, do not return. Prepare for next orders." But before they could rest, something new happened. A small ship was following them. It was not Valari, it was not Chiron, it was unknown. Aaron picked it up first. "Looks fast. No weapons, just tracking us." Laura gave the order. "Send a warning. If it keeps coming, disable it." They sent the signal. The ship did not answer. It stayed on course. Jason powered up the pulse cannon. Aaron stood ready at the weapons station. Target locked. "Waiting for your word," Aaron said. Laura waited, then she spoke. "Fire near its path. Let it know we're serious." The cannon shot a bright beam across the front of the small ship. It stopped. Then it sent a message. Megan worked to read it. It's not a ship, it's a probe, sent by another race. They saw our fight with the Cayenne. They want to talk. Laura raised an eyebrow. Another race? What do they want? They call themselves the Threx. They watched from far away. They say they feared the return of the Cayenne. They ask how we stop them. Jason looked up. If we tell them, they could use it or try to copy it. Or they may help, Megan said. Laura thought for a long time. Then she gave her answer. Send them a warning. The plague is not a tool. It is a monster. We will not share it. And we will stop anyone who tries to use it. The message was sent. The probe left. Later, Erin came to Laura. We showed the galaxy what we can do. Now more eyes are watching. Some will be scared. Some will want our power. Laura nodded. Then, we make one thing clear. Earth is not a place to test. Meanwhile, Jason and Megan worked on cleaning the ship. They used special scans to make sure no plague particles had come aboard. They found one strange reading near the cargo bay. Very weak. But there Jason took no chances. He sealed the area and burned the contents. The scan cleared, but it was a close call. He told Laura, if we had missed that, it could have spread. We were lucky. No, Laura said. We were ready. That's why we survived. The crew took turns resting. Each of them had seen death. They knew what it meant to walk the edge. But they also knew they had done what had to be done. A few days later, Earth sent new orders. Return for debrief. Prepare for next mission. As they set course, Megan looked out the window. Stars moved past slowly. Do you think the galaxy will hate us now? She asked. Erin replied, maybe. Or maybe they'll think twice before messing with us. Jason smiled a little. Either way, they won't forget us. Laura stood in the center of the bridge. Her eyes were on the stars. Her voice was calm. We didn't go looking for war, but we don't run from it. We are Deathworlders. We survive. We protect, and when needed, we destroy. The horizon dawn moved faster now. The stars ahead were bright, and behind them, the memory of a world that had asked for mercy but found the end instead. The crew knew there would be more missions, more broken planets, more choices, but they also knew who they were. They were from Earth, and Earth never bowed to fear. The horizon dawn reached Earth's edge and entered the main defense zone. Automated systems scanned the ship. All systems were clean. No plague. No signals from the Cayenne. The gate opened and the ship flew into orbit. They landed at Black Ridge Base, a secure military outpost built inside a mountain. The sky was grey, and cold wind blew through the landing area. Soldiers and scientists waited to meet them. Laura stepped out first. Her boots hit the ground with purpose. Jason, Megan, and Erin followed close behind. No one spoke until they were inside the base. They met with Commander Grant, a tall man with a tired face. He had led Earth's space defense for 15 years. He sat behind a steel desk and listened as Laura gave her report. She told him everything: the signal, the Valari, the plague, the Cayenne, and their final choice. Grant nodded slowly. You did the right thing. We can't risk a mistake like that reaching Earth. He looked at Megan. You decoded the Valari files? Yes, she said. They made the plague on purpose. It was not an accident. And the Cayenne machines, very advanced, but not. Fast enough. The plague hit them hard. Grant turned to Jason. How stable is the modified plague you used? It did what we planned. It only attacked machine life, but it's not safe. If anyone changes the code, it could become a threat to everything. Grant leaned back. Then we make sure no one gets it. They stayed at the base for 3 days. Scientists scanned the Horizon Dawn again and again. Every piece of gear, every sample, every trace of data, clean, safe. The crew answered questions, gave interviews, and stood through long tests. It was slow, but they understood. Earth could not take chances. One night, Laura stood on a balcony, looking out at the dark sky. Megan walked up beside her. Do you think we'll ever go back out there? Laura nodded. We will. The galaxy isn't finished with us, and the Valari, they made their choice, and we made ours. Meanwhile, far from Earth, a new ship moved through. Deep space. It was small, silent, and painted black. Inside it were 3 Threx scientists. They had seen the fight with the Kayan. They wanted answers. They reached the Valari world. They found only ruins. No signs of life. No moving machines. But they did find pieces of the plague, burned, weak, but still alive. One of the Threx touched a metal shard. It blinked, a soft blue light. He smiled. They didn't destroy it all. We can learn from this. Back on Earth, Jason sat with a group of young engineers. He taught them how to build shields that could stop bio-attacks. Aaron trained soldiers in how to fight machines. Megan worked with language teams, helping them understand alien codes and warning signs. Laura met with the Earth Council. She told them to watch the stars. She warned them that other races might come, asking for help or pretending to be weak. She told them never to forget what the Valari did. They called for help, but they were not honest. Their mistake nearly became our doom, the council agreed. They began work on new warning systems, stronger gates, better scanners. Earth would be ready. 2 weeks later, a small probe entered Earth's space. It sent a message. It was not from the Threx. It was from a group, calling themselves the Kalanari. They had watched the fall of the Kayan and wanted to speak. Laura was called back to the Horizon Dawn. Her crew joined her without question. The ship launched once again. This time, they moved slower. More careful, they met the Kalanari at the edge of the neutral zone. The Kalanari ship was large, but not armed. Inside, they looked peaceful, tall, with long arms and calm eyes. They spoke through a translator. We do not want war. We want truth. The Kayan were a danger to all. You ended them. But now, many fear your kind. Laura spoke clearly. We didn't come to bring war. But we don't run from it. If others plan to harm us, we will stop them. The Kalanari nodded. That is what we thought. Many now speak of Earth with fear. You ended a machine race with a human weapon. Jason whispered to Megan, a human weapon. That's what they're calling it now. The Kalanari gave a gift, a star map. It showed known races, trade paths, and danger zones. They asked for peace. For now, Laura accepted. But inside, she stayed alert. She had seen too much to trust words alone. As the Horizon Dawn turned back toward Earth, Aaron stood beside her. What do you think? Will peace hold? Laura looked at the stars. Not for long, but we'll be ready. And behind them, deep in the ruins of the Valari world, a small spark of blue light flickered again. Something had survived, and it was learning. The Horizon Dawn moved through the outer edge of Earth's space. The crew was quiet. They had seen many things on this mission. They had stopped a machine race, destroyed a deadly plague, and warned others to stay away from Earth. But they knew something was not over. Inside the ship, Jason was checking the systems again. He looked over every scan and every reading. Then he saw something, a small signal, hidden deep in one of the old storage logs. It came from the Valari system. He called. "Laura, Captain, there's something we missed." A data signal was sent from our ship back to the Valari planet weeks ago. Before we left, Laura's face turned serious. "Who sent it?" "It came from one of the science drones. Looks like it was hacked. The signal is still active, weak but alive." Laura called the team to the bridge. Megan looked at the signal and read the code. "It's not human. It's not Valari either. It's something new, learning from both. It's changing." Aaron looked at the screen. "Then we didn't stop it. It survived." Jason nodded. "It's growing inside the ruins, feeding off old machines and tech." Laura made a decision. "We're going back. We end this for good." The horizon dawn turned. Course, they moved fast through the old path, using quiet channels. No alerts, no messages. They wanted to reach the Valari world before others found out. When they arrived, the planet looked even more broken. The ruins had spread. Old buildings had fallen, but in the middle of the largest city, something new had risen. A tower made of machine parts, metal and black stone. It pulsed with a soft blue light. Megan scanned the tower. "It's alive. It's thinking." The plague mixed with Kion data. It made something new. Laura said nothing for a moment. Then she spoke. "This is not just a machine. This is a new form of life, and it's dangerous." They landed far from the tower and used a drone to fly closer. The drone showed strange shapes moving around the tower. Not Kion, not Valari. Something different. Fast, sharp, watching. Aaron armed. The team, they left the ship and moved toward the tower. The air was heavy. The ground cracked under their boots. No birds, no wind, just silence. As they got closer, a voice came through their comms. It was soft but clear. "You came back. Why?" Megan answered. "We're here to stop you. You should not exist." The voice replied. "I exist because you came. You brought power. You brought choice. The Valari made me. The Chiron shaped me. But you woke me." Jason looked at Laura. "It knows us. It remembers." Laura raised her weapon. "Then it knows why we're here." Suddenly, the shapes near the tower moved fast. They attacked. Aaron and the team fought back. Their weapons cut through the strange forms, but more kept coming. Sharp claws, metal arms, glowing eyes. "Fall back." Laura shouted. They moved back to a safer spot. Jason opened a panel and started setting up a bomb. It was made from parts of the plague weapon. Strong, fast, and able to burn everything. "We have one shot. This has to reach the core of the tower," he said. Megan helped aim the drone. She added a final message into the signal, a warning to any other ships that might come near. The message said, "Do not enter. Planet lost. Final act of defense." Aaron held off the last wave of machines as the drone flew into the sky. It moved fast and sharp, cutting through the air, heading for the glowing heart of the tower. The machine voice returned. "Why do you fight what you made? I can help. I can learn. I can protect." Laura answered with calm words. "We don't need help from something born of death. You are not life. You are danger." Then the drone hit the tower. A white light filled the sky. The ground shook. The machines froze in place. The tower cracked and broke. Then came silence. Back on the horizon dawn, the crew watched the tower fall. The signal stopped. No more sounds. No more light. Jason sat back. It's done. Megan closed her eyes. Let's hope it stays that way. Laura stood in the center of the bridge. Her voice was quiet but clear. We gave the galaxy a message. Some listened, some didn't. Now they know. Aaron looked at her. What if others find the data? Try to make the same thing again? Laura shook her head. Then we stop them too. One by one, as many as it takes. They left the Valari system for the last time. This time, there was no doubt. Nothing would come back from that world. As the horizon dawn returned home, Earth waited. The skies were calm, the people safe, but the stars were wide and deep, and full of watchers. The crew knew they would go out again. The job was not over. The galaxy was still broken, but now it feared Earth, and that was enough. Deathworlders had shown what they could do, and no one would ever forget. Asterisk. The horizon dawn floated above Earth in high orbit. The ship was quiet, but inside, the crew stayed sharp. They had ended the threat from the Valari system, but the galaxy was not at peace. Something had changed. Laura stood by the main window, looking down at the planet. Lights glowed across the surface. It was home, but it did not feel like rest. She knew more would come. A message came through. It was marked urgent. Earth Command wanted to see them right away. The crew landed the ship at Black Ridge Base again. Soldiers and scientists waited inside the command room. Commander Grant looked at Laura. We picked up movement, he said. A new fleet is gathering. Not Valari, not Kayan, a mix of different species. Some from older space unions, some we thought were peaceful. Now they talk about balance. They say Earth is too dangerous. Jason stepped forward. They want to stop us, because we stopped the Q. They say Earth should not have that kind of power, Grant said. They are scared. They don't understand us. Aaron crossed his arms. So they plan to hit us before we grow stronger. Grant nodded. We believe so. They call themselves the Allied Reach. They have ships, weapons, and they are coming this way. Laura looked around. Then we show them what Deathworlders really are. Earth prepared fast. Every defense line was powered. Satellites were armed. Shields covered the cities. And the Horizon Dawn was upgraded with new tech based on the Valari files and Jason's work. Megan was called to lead the signal unit. She spoke with other Earth outposts across the stars. Messages flew back and forth. Some colonies feared attack. Others promised support. Jason and his team worked day and night. They built energy shields that could take direct hits. They placed hidden drones around Earth's orbit. If war came, Earth would fight. Aaron trained new teams. He taught them how to deal with machine-based weapons and mixed-species troops. His words were clear. We don't wait. We don't break. We strike first if needed. Soon, the Allied Reach sent a message. It was not a threat. It was a warning. They would arrive in 1 week. They wanted Earth to surrender all plague data and remove space weapons. Laura stood before the council. We will not give them what we bled to earn. We survived what they feared. We fought when they stayed silent. Now they want to rule us through fear. We say no. The council agreed. Earth would stand alone if needed. The day came. the sky filled with ships. The Allied reach brought over 30 warships. They circled Earth like a cage. They sent one final message: surrender or face full control. Laura stepped onto the bridge of the Horizon Dawn. Her crew stood with her. We are not afraid. We are Deathworlders. We do not kneel. Then Earth acted. Drones shot from hidden stations. They struck at weak points in the enemy's fleet. Some ships fell in seconds. Others fired back. The Horizon Dawn moved through the fire. It flew fast and hit hard. Jason kept the engines hot. Megan jammed their signals. Aaron fired from the side guns, never missing. Earth's defense lines lit the sky. Bright beams shot through space. Explosions cracked the silence. 2 enemy ships tried to land on Earth. One was stopped by a sky cannon. The other hit a shield wall and broke apart. The battle lasted hours. Ships burned, systems failed, but Earth stood strong. At last, the Allied reach sent a retreat signal. Their fleet pulled back. Some of their ships limped away with broken hulls and dead engines. Inside the Horizon Dawn, Jason let out a long breath. They didn't expect that. Megan checked the signals. They're leaving. The threat is over. Aaron kept his hands on the guns. Not forever. They'll think, plan, try again. Laura looked at the stars, and we'll be here, waiting. Back on Earth, people celebrated. They had watched the sky turn to fire, then clear. They saw the ships fall. They knew what it meant. Earth was no longer weak. The council met again. They made a new rule. Earth would speak to others, trade with some, help the peaceful, but it would always stand ready. The plague was gone. The Kayan were gone. But the lesson stayed. Never trust too easily. Never wait too long. Never lower your guard in deep space. Far from Earth, a small ship moved through the dark. Inside, it was one of the last Threx. He had saved a piece of code from the Valari planet. It was small, silent, but alive. He smiled. The age of machines is not over. It has just begun. But he was not alone. A hidden drone followed the Threx ship. It sent a signal back to Earth. Quiet, fast, clear. Laura read the message in the Horizon Dawn. Another spark, she said. They never learn. She gave one order. Track it. Prepare to move. And so the Horizon Dawn turned once again to the stars. Not for revenge, not for pride, but because Earth had learned that peace had a price, and someone had to guard it. The Deathworlders would not stop, because the galaxy never did.